So BitMEX, as you mentioned, was like founded in 2014, and then BitMEX Ventures in 2018. You joined in 2019, right?
Yeah.
How were like the earliest days like, right? And I recently spoke to Jason as well, who was the CEO of OKCoin back in the day, right?
Okay.
And I feel the earliest days of crypto, especially when it comes to exchanges like you guys, OKX, Huobi, everyone was concentrated in the same Hong Kong area, right? So how were those days like?
Yeah, it was interesting. Hong Kong was really the hub. The like FTX, BitMEX, Binance, OKX, KuCoin. There's so many exchanges that were either headquartered there or had their largest office there. And there's many still even today that are shadow headquartered there in many ways that maybe on paper or not.
Why do you think like Hong Kong attracted this kind of crowd?
Hong Kong is an interesting place because it's a trader nation. That's very controversial. It's not a nation. It's a trader city and jurisdiction. And so it's always attracted people who their thing is exacting a tax on facilitating transactions. That's it. So that's why there's people there buying and selling stuff from China, and that included financial products. And I think like that trader blood has always been in Hong Kong. It attracts people like that, and that's why when Bitcoin became a thing, people started thinking, how are we going to transact this thing? So I think, it just attracted a lot of those kinds of people on day one. The vibe back then was pretty electric. My first week on the job, I remember meeting a lot of the CEOs of these exchanges. I had a meeting with Ryan from FTX on a rooftop bar, and it's just like, I was like, wow, this energy is palpable.
And do you remember some crazy stories from back in the day when we were fighting like some random fires? Because I believe there were not like a lot of like regulations still then. Was there a moment in time when you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Is this even legal?
Yeah, there wasn't, and there isn't really now either, a strong regulatory framework. So there's a lot of fog, right? It's just like, how do people wanted to follow the rules, but there were no rules. And often you'd hear exchanges talking to regulators saying, give us rules, we'll follow them. And the regulators themselves were dragging their feet. They didn't even understand what products were. I think watching that, I was never on the operational side, so I have no clue how those conversations went. But seeing it from the outside, it looked frustrating.
And there was this news article where BitMEX had the most expensive office, right? Like you guys had an office floor which was leased for like $600,000 per month. How is that office like, right?
It's a beautiful office, honestly. Like I think it really facilitated a really strong culture team. The people were proud to work there, excited to show up to the office. It wasn't like when COVID happened and people were remote working, they were sad because we don't get to hang out together in this amazing office space. And it had sweeping views of the South China Sea on one side and Victoria Peak on the other. It was in a building that had a lot of other name brand TradFi institutions. And it also really facilitated, I think, hiring. When we had like former executives from TradFi for interviews and things like that, they were just like, okay, I understand. This is something that I could envision myself doing.